Well, I haven't mowed in a while in the garden. Oops, the door's locked. And I don't have my keys. Awesome. Anyway, I haven't mowed in a while in the garden. It's been super busy at work, been busy on the weekends, and then every time I get a chance, it's either raining or about to rain, or it has rained, so the grass is wet. And when the grass is wet, the bagger doesn't work very well. Anyway, last night, I was out here until after dark, to the point where I couldn't really even see where I had mowed and where I hadn't, which is about the time I stopped, but I was mostly done. And I collected a bunch of grass, and now I'm gonna use it. Coming? Don't be pushing me now. Good boy. Yeah, we're going in the garden. Be right there.
An honest assessment of the situation with the trees I'm going to be mulching is that they should have been mulched right away after planting, or at the very least, sooner than the third week in July. One of the nice things about mulch is, if you can put it down thick enough, it's never too late. However, since I don't have any cardboard or some other such substance, and I don't have enough grass to mulch thickly enough to suppress these weeds, I'm going to hit the area around these graft experiments with a stirrup hoe, then mulch right away. That should do the trick so I don't have to weed again this year, other than the errant sprout that makes it through here and there.
You want to go in? All right, I'll be right there. Poor Ziggy, man. He's a good dog. Not much bothers him, but one thing that he just cannot stand is the horseflies. I don't blame him, but they seem to bother him more than me. So if he's out here, he'll snap at him a little bit and then gets a little overwhelmed and he says, the heck with this, and he'll go and wait by the door. I don't think I've got this one unlocked, bud. Do I? Oh yeah, you're in luck. All right. Stay cool. Pretty excited with how this experiment is going so far. When I first put this tree out, I've already pruned it. There was a branch coming off here and one here. So this is already branching out. And this has grown, let's see, where's the Scion? Right there is where the top of that piece of Scion was, just like this one. But I cut it off because I don't want a big nub sticking up above it because that just invites rot. So once the tree is established and you think it's going well, it's a good idea to cut that little nub off above your main shoot and that'll heal off. Actually, I probably should have cut that a little bit better, more of an angle down like this. But it's hard to get down underneath it with the pruners. Anyway, I was kind of bummed because only one graft took, which is still pretty good because I'm going to get an apple tree out of this that I wanted. But this one wasn't doing anything. This shoot right here is coming out above the graft, which is down there on the, within that tape. So this is gonna, I'm not gonna cut this off yet. It's probably not going to do anything, but I don't want to mess around with this because this is just a single shoot with only 3 leaves, so I want to let it get more established. I'm also not going to mess with the tape because of that. I don't want to accidentally knock that off while I'm messing around with stuff. But I'm pretty psyched that I am going to get 2, at least if things continue this way, I'm going to get 2 trees out of that one. These other 2 I haven't pruned yet, so let's take a look at those and see what the story is here. It would have been easier to do this before the grass was here, but I don't like to do stuff like that where I could prune this and get it exactly how I want and then accidentally knock off the shoot when I'm putting grass down or whatever. So I like to do the big heavy, I always say big dumb ox to X-Acto knife. That's the order of operations. So I do big stuff first and then always go down to the smallest little exact stuff. Anyway, I might be able to get this better on the other side. I don't know if this is gonna come out, but it might be easier to see. Anyway, I've definitely got 2 trees, 2 shoots coming out of this tree. Sorry it's so blurry. I think it's blurry anyway. It's hard to see down in the grass, but the problem is I've got both that and that Scion, but the shoot that's coming out of this Scion is on the inside. There's nothing I could do about that. One of my viewers mentioned when I talked about this experiment that putting the 2 trees together into one rootstock is a little bit dangerous because you're setting up a lot of problems where these 2 trees are growing so close together. This crotch right at the bottom of the tree is a great way for them to split. There's going to be a lot of collection of rain and other things down in there, detritus. But it's just an experiment and I want to see how it works. So the one we just looked at is better off than this one, I think, even though one of them, the shoot's so far behind. These are a little bit closer in terms of growth, but this one's growing on the wrong side. But I'm just going to leave it. There's nothing I can do about that. And I want to let these get a little bit more established before I prune off the tops of the grafts. So let's go look at the last one. Okay, so this one is actually the best of all the trees of these 3 anyway. This is doing exactly what I want to do on this one. This one could be a little bit better if the shoot was over here, but you can't have everything. So essentially what's going to happen now is I'm actually going to trim this whole thing right off if I can get down in there. So that'll get rid of this shoot, and this will be a nice wide crotch here at the bottom of the tree. And that'll give a little more space at the bottom for them to branch out. Because eventually this tree is going to be so big around that, I mean, it's going to be bigger than that by the time it's ready to retire. But there's not going to be a lot of space in between these, which is what one of our viewers was mentioning, which is totally correct. So I think if I do this again, maybe next year or another year, I'm going to try to make sure that I put the buds on the Scion on the outsides of each other. I tried to do that here with one, but I definitely didn't pay enough attention to it. So I'll need to be careful when I'm making the grafts next year or whenever I do this again, if I do it again, which I probably will. It's going pretty well and it's fun. But anyway, I'm going to prune these now to get rid of the excess that invites rot and then get rid of this so that I can space these out a little bit more. Just got to get my clippers. There we go. There. And that's not ideal. I would like to have that less of a nub and have it be right down there, but I can't get the clippers in between the tree without damaging it, so that's going to be good enough. And this one, since I think it's good to go, I'm going to take the tape off because I have it labeled here on the stake. Let's see, make sure, let's just triple check that. Yeah, so I have it labeled so I know which shoot is which, and I also have it written down in the house in my notebook. So I could take the tape off that. Looking good. Time to go do some more mulching. I think the peach tree is doing all right. I planted it in kind of late, but there's definitely some things that need to come off. So the whole top was pruned and it was harvested before being sold. So get rid of that altogether. If I can get as close as possible to that. There we go. And then there's a bunch of tip burn. Not sure what that's about. That one's okay. And then it looks like down bottom, there's some tip burn there. I know there's a branch that I broke. There it is. Broke that. Dead ones. Oops, I missed. There we go. That's better. Hard to do this while I'm holding on to a camera. There. Anyway, I'm pretty psyched about that. Stone wall's coming along. Now that I got that big rock out of there the other day, might be able to move some of these medium-sized rocks. But that's a project for another time. Right now I have some very important marriage business to take care of. Today is my anniversary. So, I'm not home from work yet. I'll pick some wildflowers. Put together a bouquet. Oh, come on, I'll take you outside. You'd be happier there. Alright, paper towel it is. What do you think? No good? Alright, we're gonna have to do this the hard way then. Come on, there you go. Let's go outside.